So it's the first morning out here at the house in St. Augustine, and unfortunately I'm only staying 2 days because I still have a lot of ground to cover. Although I'm starting to think that maybe the best idea is to just settle down a couple days in each city like this and not be on the move so much. But if I do that, then the downside is that I won't be able to cover as many places, but the upside is I will be able to spend more time in places and kind of get more of a feel of what it's like to be there and evaluate and have more information and footage to report to you guys. So I'm still trying to figure that out because now this is the morning day 4 of the trip and I still haven't figured that part out. So far what I've been doing, ooh, that bird sounded mad. So far what I've been doing is I've just been hopping from place to place for the most part because I wanted to get up this way kind of as quick as possible because in my opinion anything that's like south of Fort Pierce, for example, I can get to in a day and then back home in Miami without driving too much and it being too exhausting. But once you kind of get north of there, it gets too far away from home to backtrack, especially like once you start dealing with the traffic in South Florida and all of that. So it's just not worth it. So I want to get up to this area quick. And now that I'm up here, I don't want to leave. You know, anybody who's seen my 10 best places video and some of my other Florida videos, I say that St. Augustine is my favorite place. I just coughed and spilled a little bit of coffee on my sweatpants. And yeah, I'm wearing sweatpants outside in the morning. It's not too hot for that. That's a miracle. It is about 10 degrees cooler here than Miami, especially at nighttime. During the daytime, it does heat up more, but once the sun sets, the temperature does drop more than Miami for sure. You know, in Miami, we don't get that much of a difference in temperature. You know, it still feels hot even after the sun goes down, starting about now all the way until summer's over. So that's pretty much the story down there. And I like that that's not the case here. I really am gonna ask the owner of this house that's running this Airbnb here if he would be willing to sell it, because I've been looking around for houses in the area and St. Augustine is one of those places where if you've heard of like the housing market crisis and the shortage of inventory, that's happening here. I mean, when I was here 2 years ago, there was probably 2 to 3 times as many houses for sale and for cheaper than, you know, what's available now. And I don't think it's that it's not so many, it's not that there aren't any cheap houses left in St. Augustine. It's that nobody that owns any of these houses is actually selling them right now. That's really what's going on. And a lot of the listings that are on the market are like higher end listings, you know, stuff that's over 700,000, a million. Not everything, but a lot of it is. And those houses would be expensive regardless if the housing market was hot or not. So it's making it a little bit difficult to find something up here that makes sense to buy. And surprisingly, you know, when you're looking at houses like that, you know, it makes Miami not look affordable, but it seems like the prices are becoming on par with Miami, which is pretty insane to me because Miami prices have always been high and inflated, if you ask me. But one thing that we've never had in Miami ever since I've lived there is we've never had inventory shortage, okay? I've worked in real estate there since 2009. There has never been inventory shortage in Miami from 2009 all the way through now to 2021. So there's always been an abundance of houses and condos for sale, and nobody ever has a hard time finding a place. So every time you hear about these housing shortages happening all across America, it's kind of hard to relate to that when you live in Miami because it feels like that's never the case there. And by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this rag for a t-shirt, that's just because I do that, you know. I wear these stupid white t-shirts that are really old, and that's what I wear in the morning and at nighttime because they're comfy. And I should probably buy some new ones though, because they're getting pretty old. Lizzie hates them. She wants me to throw them all away. But, you know, the other shirts I have aren't as cozy. But I definitely do like the setup here. I like the neighborhood here. I like the vibe that St. Augustine has. I do think it's losing a little bit of that small town charm because last night when we were driving around looking for a place to eat, everything was packed. It's not a holiday, it's not the weekend, it's not a holiday weekend. It's just a regular Wednesday evening, and you would be amazed at how busy the streets were in the downtown historic area of St. Augustine, and how packed the restaurants were, and how many people were just like waiting to get in. It's unbelievable. And it really wasn't like that last time we were here. So a lot seems to have changed in 2 years. And I'm afraid that that's going to probably continue to get worse because this area seems to be really in demand. And I don't know how many of them actually saw my video saying that this is my favorite place to live. Maybe that's why it's getting out of control here, right? It's my own fault. But today I'm gonna take a ride down to the Palm Coast because it's not that far from here. It's maybe like 25 minutes away. So I think that's gonna be cool to check out, and the housing there is a lot more affordable. And I like that it's not that far away from here in case you wanna come up here. But I'm also curious to see like what that town has to offer itself. And you know, at the end of the day, it's not just the town. Like for me, yeah, I like St. Augustine, but I also like the weather up here. I like the beaches up here, and I like that it's not as crazy, it's not as much traffic, and I would imagine that's even more so in the Palm Coast. So that might be even more favorable to me for a living situation. And I know the houses are cheaper because I've been looking at them. So that might be the next untapped gem up in this area that could be worth checking out as far as a potential move. But around here, you know, if I needed to move here today, for example, I can't find any houses in my price range that I would be like, yeah, I want to buy it right now. So that's a little bit alarming. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure a lot of other home buyers are facing the same thing. In fact, yesterday, I drove by some houses for sale, and there was like 6 people in the driveway talking to the realtor in both houses. There was like a house for sale, and then a couple doors down another house for sale, and it was the same thing. Like a bunch of people in the driveway asking the realtor a bunch of questions, checking out the houses. It's like, wow, the market here is on fire. You know, another reason that I was thinking to just settle down more and stay in a couple areas for a couple nights like this is also because, you know, then I have time to kind of sit down like this and gather my thoughts for a little while. Because when you're on the move every day, like checking into a hotel, the next day checking out, and just hitting the road again, there's not really a lot of time to gather my thoughts. Like, in fact, this isn't really a vacation for me. This is more of a work trip than anything, I'm realizing, because, well, the main reason I wanted to do this is 2 things. I wanted to find a new place to live potentially, and I wanted to report to you guys on YouTube my findings of what I think of all these other areas of Florida, right? But let me tell you something, Florida starts looking like a much bigger state on the map once you start driving around it and trying to make it across the entire state in 2 weeks. So, you know, tomorrow I want to make it up to Fernandina Beach. Lizzie wants to get up there. And then after that, we got to shoot all the way over to Tallahassee and then to Pensacola. So that's going to be a pretty far ride for both of those. And, you know, staying in 2 nights in those places, I'm not really sure it makes sense, but I'm also not sure if it makes sense to just go for 1 night either. So, I don't know. I've never been to the Panhandle before. I feel like maybe just picking one area over there, probably Panama City Beach or Destin, and staying over there, because obviously we love the beach. And then we can kind of drive around the area. It's not too far from Pensacola, and then we can kind of be settled in for a couple nights instead of moving from night to night. Maybe just do 1 night in Tallahassee. I'm not even sure if it's worth doing a night in Tallahassee. I've never been there before. So I'm just giving you guys my thoughts here, you know, now that I actually have some time to sit down, relax, drink my coffee. And by the way, I got up early today on my own. And I think that's what, you know what that is? First of all, early to me is like 9 o'clock. I was up by 9:10 on my own. And I actually do that a lot at home. Like I get up, I got to go to the bathroom, but I'll usually just go back to bed because it's like, well, I don't have to do anything. I mean, I have to make some videos and go to the gym and do my stuff that I normally have to do. But now that I'm out and I'm on a trip, you know, I feel like more inspired to get up and do something every day, like, you know, get around and explore and all that. But when you're at home, that sense of urgency really isn't there. So anyways, I figured I'd just share all of that and my thoughts with you guys while I'm sipping on my second cup of coffee here. After this, we're gonna head to the beach for a little while because we haven't actually spent a couple hours at the beach just relaxing, and then drive down to the Palm Coast. And then I'll stop at the store and get some steaks and fire up this bad boy later on and make my own dinner tonight, which will be a nice change of pace because, you know, I'm not some kind of major chef or anything, but it's nice to have a home cooked meal, especially when you're on the road. And I might be staying in some Airbnbs from now on because I'm missing the amenities of home. Staying in a hotel is just not the same. I'm exploring Florida, so you don't have to. I'll see you guys in my next video.